Husky.
What's up, Paul? How you doing, man?
Brian, man, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Episode 41 today.
41. And you know, it was supposed to be live. But
Mm.
for the greater good, we've decided to spread awareness on something terrible happened over in California over this past weekend. And we have the main person involved with that situation on our show tonight. And we'd like to try and help out wherever we can. And anybody listening, if you can, share this out wherever you're listening from, listen to the information. And we're not talking pennies here. We're talking thousands of dollars ripped away from somebody.
Tens of
And
thousands. Yep.
And it's a terrible, terrible thing. Let's just get right into it.
All right, let's bring him up. How's it going?
How are you guys doing?
Bob
For those
Campbell.
of you listening and watching, this is Bob Campbell from All About Coins, Utah, right?
Salt Lake City, Utah.
Salt Lake City, Utah. Michigan here.
I'm the only coin shop in Utah in Salt Lake City.
Wow.
Fantastic. Well, Bob, thank you so much for joining us on the Crucible podcast. As Paulie mentioned earlier, something big happened. It was just about a week ago, right?
It was actually
the 6th?
6 days ago on Thursday at exactly 11:52 Pacific time. Oh no, that's actually is that California time? Or I think it is called Pacific time. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. So before we touch on that, obviously we know you're a coin shop owner, but if you don't mind, introduce yourself to our listeners or our watchers, a little bit of background on you, and then we'll get into California.
Sounds good. So obviously, again, my name is Bob Campbell. I own All About Coins in Salt Lake City, Utah. I'm a past president of the American Numismatic Association. And this is an organization that's chartered by Congress in 1912, the only hobby group that is. So it's the world's biggest group of collectors, of coin collectors and dealers. Wow. And I've also testified in front of the United States Senate. I have a PhD in numismatics. I teach at the School of Numismatics. I teach the 2 hardest classes, which how to detect counterfeits and also alterations on U.S. coins. And I teach another one about detection of artificial toning, artificial frosting, and reproofing of surfaces.
Oh, really?
My classes are taught at the college level, and they're the only really science-based classes. So I've been an instructor there for 30 years.
That's awesome.
So I'm the guy that teaches other dealers. Not only that, I teach more federal agents than everybody else put together: Secret Service, FBI, Homeland Security, Border Patrol, U.S. Mint, Treasury agents, federal marshals, and law enforcement in general. So I do that as especially things. I'm the lead authenticator for the anti-counterfeiting task force. And our job is trying to get people that are in law enforcement familiar enough that they can carry a case forward. Right now, for example, we have seizures on every port in the United States of counterfeit coins coming in from China. So we're involved with a lot of things. It's a big deal. But I'm the main guy as far as the person that's not a sworn officer. Okay. I'm the one that's teaching them.
Well, let me ask you this. Does the name Don Kagan ring a bell?
Know him really well. Been out to dinner with him many times. He was down at the show also.
Yeah, I've spoken with him a few times on this channel. Most recently, when the Stallion was released from the Spanish Royal Mint, that's what kind of got him on my radar. Yeah. And he's a great guy.
American. Yeah, he's the American representative. He's sewn up the rights of the distributorship in America. I know all of his employees, and they're some of my best friends.
Yeah, well, I'm actually going to have a chance to meet him and possibly you, but I plan on being at that Chicago's World Fair of Money coming up in August.
Yeah. That's the organization that I was president. Don has been vice president of that organization.
Okay.
So I know his father really well, Art. Kagan and his sister Judy, and our families have been friends for a very long time.
Well, it would make
And
sense
I
that
will be
both
there
are
also.
where
In
you're
fact,
at.
I'm receiving an award there, a Lifetime Achievement Award from the ANA,
In
which is
Chicago.
in Chicago, one of their highest
Nice.
awards at the banquet.
Nice. What day's that?
That's going to be on Friday of that week.
Friday. That's
Love you to come.
well, that
The
just so
tickets are
happens the day
$100.
that's the day I'll be there.
All right. Yeah. You come and see me get an award. Don will be there. He
Yeah.
probably won't be sitting at my table because he has a group of people with him always. So,
Well, it's me. I'll be the guy standing in the back with the nice
yeah.
looking lady right now, right on my
Oddly
side.
enough, I'll be the auctioneer there too. We're doing a charity auction
Oh.
during the banquet, and I'm the auctioneer. One of the other things that I do.
Wonderful.
That's cool. Do you do the auctioneer voice?
I don't do the hey, but
Hey, that's
it's a
good
coin
though.
auction, so we actually go. Lot one is coming up. It's this description. Remember, this is for charity. We have a bid on this table. Thank you very much. We got 900. Okay, we have 950. Thank you very much. 1,000 now and 1,100. It goes slower where human beings can't actually understand what I'm saying.
That's good. The coin shop, all about coins. How long has that been there? I don't know if you touched on that. I think
It's been here since 1965, and then I've been here since 1980. So 44 years I've been here.
Okay. Was it family owned before you, or you took over for
No,
someone?
my dad passed away just before I was 5, and this guy that ran the shop, his name was Wallace Hopper, and he was a mentor to me. So I had anybody that was older and was male was like a father figure to me, and he fit that
Sure.
bill really good. And I used to be known around town as Bobby the Whiz Kid, the kid that already knew a lot about coins. And I would teach dealers, and I actually formed my first coin club when I was 11. I was president, of course. There was just 4 of us boys from the neighborhood, and we'd ride our bikes to banks and get $50 worth of pennies and come back and search for the old ones that are in it so we could fill our books. And the next week we did the exact same thing again. So as much as 11 boys can get in mischief, we were riding 10 miles away on our bikes. I don't know any parent would let their kids ride 10 miles away at 11. But it was a different time period, different.
Yes.
Not everybody was on a cell phone. People actually watched out for people.
Yep.
And they paid more attention to driving at a different time.
Right.
That's right. That's right. It was.
And then by the time I was 15, I was what we call a vest pocket dealer in the business. So I was already buying and selling coins between coin shops as I was growing up. And I became a full-time coin dealer, a professional numismatist when I was 22. And so that's where I've been here.
Husky. Numismatist.
Yeah, it sounds like a disease, doesn't it?
Well,
that's my wife thought.
Before you hopped on, we were trying to master it, and I said we can't really master it in like 5 minutes here.
It's Latin for a person who collects coins, and numismatics is the study of money. This is what it all means.
Okay.
Right on.
But I can tell you, coin collecting is like a disease. It's very addicting.
Oh, you're not wrong there.
In a good way, everybody's a collector of something. If you collect sooner or later, we're going to get you. You're going to become a coin collector because it's the king of all the hobbies.
Well, I can't agree more. It's a nice, clean, fun hobby. You were talking about collecting pennies. The great thing about that is there's still kids doing that today. Maybe not. That's not the only thing that they have going on, but by golly, there's still kids out there collecting.
It's still alive. We had a coin club meeting last night, my home club here called the Utah Numismatic Society, and it was youth night that night, and we had 24 kids at that and another 50 adults that were attending. So, we brought them in, sat them at a table, gave them the books, and dumped out that pennies by the bagful, and any pennies they could put in the book by the date and mint mark they could keep. It's a big success. We've been doing that for years, and if you came into my coin shop as a kid, you'd get just as much attention as an adult because that's how it was when I was young. So our shop, we like to think it's the best in the United States. That's what people say about us all the time. We're 3,500 square feet. We have other things we do. We have a jewelry shop in here, and we specialize in rocks and minerals and gems and things like that, collectible ones. And we deal in antique bottles, antique pocket watches. We have a lot of little side things that we deal in, but all is about collecting things, collectibles.
Right.
And you do have a website, and a lot of that's on there, and that information.
No, we have a website, but a
Yes.
few things are on there, but they're only there to actually get you to call us. We have too big of an inventory to ever put it
exactly.
up and sell online. Believe it or not, we don't sell online. We
No,
do
right. And
millions
I
and
was going
millions
to
and
say
millions
that.
of dollars, but we don't sell online.
Right, but
Kind
there
of
is a website for anybody interested. It's going to be in the description below to check it out, and feel free to reach out, especially if
Yeah,
you are in the Utah or Salt Lake City surrounding areas and have
yeah.
never been.
Oh,
But
yeah. People come here.
But before you get into it, Paulie,
yeah,
I know I can feel you pulling the trigger on it, but
no,
I actually just wanted to touch on something that you said that I think is easily overlooked by a lot of dealers. When you said that you give children as much attention as you would an adult,
We
um,
do.
I think a lot of people miss that point in understanding that this, like any other hobby, or like any other maybe craft even, it's the youth that's going to carry it on. You know, eventually
Exactly.
we all get old, we fade off into the sunset, right? But
We
that
do.
next generation are the ones who are going to carry that torch, and if we don't help them spark that interest and
Yeah.
fuel that flame.
And
yep,
oh, absolutely. They grow up and get good jobs, and they'll come back and collect these. We call it planting seeds. They give you another example during Halloween. Instead of giving out candy, we give out coins.
Yeah.
So last year we had 400 trick or treaters at our house.
Wow.
that's
We've been
that's
handing
great.
out coins for 40 years instead of candy. And nowadays we
Speaking
get
by
multi-generations. So we have people now coming with a list. And he says, no, I got that date already. I want this one. And
Oh man,
nice.
it's fun.
oh man. Yeah,
Yeah.
Husky and I actually did a show probably 20, I would say 20 weeks ago, talking about, how to keep the youth interested in
Oh,
collecting.
yeah.
It was a good show.
That's what I do. Yeah.
That's
That's
good.
what we do. Yeah.
That's good. Well, we
And our
might be
youngest
getting
right
a
now
few extra
working for
tips
us,
from you.
he's just barely turned 18 years old. We hired him when he was still in high school. He's a great kid.
That's
Oh, that's
awesome.
great. How many employees?
Valedictorian in school. He's a straight A student. So,
No kidding.
Straight A
yeah.
student and loves collecting.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
How do you find the time?
Believe it or
How do
not,
you
he
find the time?
buys coins for $1,000 and more because he saves his money. But he gets good deals from us.
That's
Well,
awesome.
I'd say he's making some good investments. That's for sure.
He does. Yeah.
That's right.
It's a fun hobby. And it's terrible that I have to tell you about this other thing that happened to me in Long Beach,
And
Um,
that's just it. And it's bad that we have to meet this way and tell as much as you want. Don't get yourself worked up. We don't know how bad this actually hurts, but
oh, yeah.
we do greatly appreciate that you're actually going to sit down with us and give us the information that happened that day, and then kind of what's going on now. And for
Yeah.
those of you who don't know, this is Bob Campbell from All About Coins, and you traveled from Utah to Long Beach, California
Yeah.
for a coin show or a collectibles
Right.
show. And
I've
this
been
wasn't
going
your
there for
first
40
time.
years.
I was gonna say, this wasn't your first time going. I wouldn't believe that
So
for an instance.
three
And
times a year, 40 years in a row. They had to not do it 2 years because of COVID there. But
gotcha.
they called the
What was
show.
different about this one? Did
Well,
anything feel different?
we had just expanded some, so we were bigger, to our footprint at the show, but nothing different other than, I wasn't at my table when this happened. I had two of my employees there, and they were probably distracted on purpose, where they were looking. The police think there maybe is more than one, but there's no concrete evidence. The police certainly wouldn't want me to tell you that, but you were asking
Sure.
me earlier, how does it feel like? Well, it's like getting kicked in the privates. It takes your breath away, you get a knot in your stomach, and after a while, you're okay. But we had a large gold nugget, a historical nugget. It was about the size of a goose egg. This particular nugget, we think, was actually from the 1849 gold rush. So this was already been kept and passed through generations, about 175 years. This
No,
nugget was found just north of Weed, California,
I've
in
been
the
there. I've
Yellow,
actually got a
yeah,
picture there.
yep, the Yellow River, and white spelled YOLO. I don't know if it's a river or a creek, but If it was found there, it just wasn't found on top of the ground. But
Sure.
through ancient floods and glaciers and stream action, it had been tumbled for millions of years. So it has those nicer, smoother edges. All the quartz that originally was probably with this rock had got knocked out by other rocks hitting it and it hitting itself. So it was just solid gold. There was no other material other than some fineness difference. So we know exactly how much gold is in there. There's 27 actual ounces of gold in there.
Wow.
It's a California nugget, so California nuggets have a little bit of silver in them. That's how we identify them. You know, we did an X-ray fluorescence of it and also a specific gravity test. These are non-destructive ways that we can tell exactly how much gold is and the purity. I actually do it for different auction companies and other companies that want to have an accurate analysis.
Yeah.
I'm a geologist by training, and so this is common and easy for me to do. But the actual gold weight of this nugget, if you just melded it down, would be about $64,000. We were asking 82,000. We had been offered $75,000 to give you an idea. So I mean,
prior to that show.
this hasn't been inflated a lot. Gold nuggets, the larger they are, the more they're worth. So they're all worth something more than the gold, but especially the big ones like this. I mean, here it survived for 175 years of somebody not stealing it,
That's
melding
what's
it.
gotten me not confused, but just interested, wondering, okay, somebody found this. Why didn't
Yeah,
it go to the, the company or whoever, however they did it then? Somebody
right.
pocketed this piece at some point in time and kept it with them. They did nothing with it
Yeah,
except held on to it.
yeah.
And then
By
it's just been
rarity,
passed down, maybe sold
well, it
or
was very
traded for
pretty.
good.
Yeah, it had a test hole in it. That's one of the identifying features, and that's what the red arrow is pointing to in it. And
Yeah.
this particular enough, it survived all those times. So it's a very identifiable nugget if somebody sees it. You know, I hope it hasn't been mailed out. It probably has been, but maybe the crook is smart enough not to just sell it for gold. We've offered a $10,000 reward for the um, arrest and conviction of this person. Sooner or later, some of his buddies are going to find out. He's going to show it off. So we would hope some of the buddies would rat on him for $10,000. Some of the other TV stations asked after, "Would you give it to him?" And I said, "Certainly." And then, I said, "Well, he'd need $10,000 for an attorney." But
Yeah.
we'll prosecute him if we can to the full extent of the law. And these tests that we did it, even if this was a puddle, because we have its fingerprint, we know all the side things that are in it. So as a geologist, I can identify a piece of gold anywhere in the world where it's found. Everything has a fingerprint with it. So it's something that even if it wasn't in nugget form, I could still prove that it was the nugget. You see, because everyone have its unique features of byproducts that are in there, side products that are still there, little bits of this and
Almost
that,
like our
something
own
else. Yeah,
DNA.
yeah. Well, in its way, it's not organic, but it's their own
Yeah.
DNA. So
Yeah.
we could identify this one, even if it was cut down, shaved down, we could still do it. So we can tell, I can tell, and other geologists can tell anywhere around the world where they're found. And we can also tell if it's been refined before August of 1945 or after what. And that's because the atomic bomb and it released radioactive isotopes that would show up in the refinery. Even though it's
Wow.
pure, they're still in there. And so we can prove if something has been refined before 1945 in August or afterwards. So that's the science again behind it. So we can identify it. This nugget is really nice. And there are collectors. And most often question that was asked me is that, why do people collect these things? I don't know. Nowadays, a lot of times people want have everything on their phone. They're ready to leave in a minute. They don't buy a car. They lease a car. They
Yeah.
don't buy a home. They rent a home. And literally, they're not into traditional things that they would keep that would make them feel comfort or anything. Well, this is from my granddad. They don't want any of that, but that's how the world is right now. But I can tell you, by collectors and people that collect gem and minerals specimens, this is a really great specimen. I collect gold nuggets myself. I have nuggets that are much bigger than this that I've collected, and they mean a lot to me because of certain reasons or characteristic things about them. And so the collector gene is something that's real and it's out there. Anybody that has two of the same items, you're a collector. You don't realize about it. But if you're starting something, well, I like them. I got two. That will lead to a third, and you're on your way. This collective game that was part of that.
Yeah.
So collecting gold nuggets is great. It's intoxicating. When we put this nugget in somebody's hand, a lot of times we would put that nugget, the elbow on the case, and then put it in their hands, and I'd raise it up at the last second and drop it. Their knuckles would come down and hit the glass, and it hurts. They remember that. They'll always remember that. They held a gold nugget, and then they get a picture of it right next to their head. And their friends don't believe that you've held that such a value in such a small place. But gold has the allure that it used to have back then. Every time I put it in somebody's hand, they get this wicked little smile in their face. And then, they're smiling when they pass it around to their friends. We had hundreds of people hold this. It was great fun for the 16 months we had it, and it was a great lesson to pull. Now, there's a great quote, and I don't know who wrote this, but it does sound like Hemingway, but we can't find it. Somebody else will be able to find it. The quote goes, "Gold brings men together like fire in a dark room." So you can picture that in your head. Gold brings men together like fire in a dark room. Have you guys ever been camping?
Of course.
And you build a fire and camping in a rock pit or something like that? And doesn't it bring everybody out of their tents and everybody's standing around or sitting in chairs around the fire? Maybe you're roasting
that's when the story
sweeties or marshmallows. Brings a good time. That same good feeling is the same feeling when you hold a gold nugget, because then you're thinking, my gosh, and this was certainly a Hollywood type of nugget. Most nuggets have quartz in them, and we had other big ones there too. They didn't get those, but unfortunately, they did get the most expensive one that we had. And we had probably about a dozen or 20 different nuggets of all kinds of sizes from all around the world.
So with the short video clip that is out there, and I still can't believe that it's 2024 and the video footage is just that grainy that
it's from a longer shot. It was one of my coin dealer friends, and it's shooting probably at a distance of around 50 feet. And you can actually see the guy jiggle the case, and the case was slightly broken, and you can watch him get a finger in, and then he gets a hand in. He probably scraped his hands as he got it in. And
that's the question I was going to have is, obviously the cases are turned towards the center of your tables or where you're at. You're going to be the one opening up that case, but he must have somehow weaseled his way in.
He actually, because the hinges were slightly broken, he was able to flex the case enough to get a finger in and then pulled it. And it still has flex, even though you're dealing with glass, because the hinge on one side was partially broken.
Sure.
So there's a lot of things that if we would have done different, if it would have been a non-defective case, it would have never happened. But the case was locked,
So the case was locked. That was going to be another
we don't leave cases open. But he was able to flex it, get it in enough, and just squeeze in like a rat, and went through the hole big enough to get his fingers on it, then grab it and put it in his left front pocket. So all of it's on that tape. Now, it's hard to get a picture when somebody's moving. So this is about the best picture we can get. The police have a much better picture, and they're circulating it with all of the law enforcement people. But you can see this guy kind of has a high hairline. He looks Hispanic, or he looks Middle Eastern. He's got a shirt on that has a particular pattern right above where the pocket normally would be. That same pattern is reproduced on the back. One of the girls down there recommended it was a high fashion shirt, a high expensive type of t-shirt. He's wearing black all the way, and he's clean cut. You can see
gold trim or something around that shirt.
Right? Yeah, you see it on the front part, but if you watch the video, and you'll see it back. So just after that picture that it's showing there, he actually turns and looks back to see if anybody's following him. And the police have them coming in, pictures of them coming in, going out, and all over the show. There's cameras everywhere. So, and, sooner or later, somebody will recognize that picture, and one of his friends will rat him out for $10,000.
Do you think by chance maybe he or a group of his friends were casing you, have seen you maybe in a previous coin show and noticed that you bring nuggets?
Yeah, Actually, I think I talked to him 4 months earlier than this.
No
Oh.
kidding.
So I got a vivid picture in my mind. I was actually trying to help this guy that later stole from me. He wanted to know how he get more for certain coins, and he was showing to me. And you know, it could easily be accomplices. You know, the police think so. You know, but there are people that go around from convention to convention. Their whole purpose is just to rob coin dealers. And a lot of them get caught. When they get caught, they get paraded around the show. Everybody's clapping. Everybody's swearing at them, and they're going to jail for the full extent of the law. You know, the thing is careful too. You know, a lot of these coin dealers have guns with them, and maybe not in California because of the restrictions,
Yeah.
but they're willing to defend their lives if need be. And sooner or later, something really bad is going to happen.
Yeah, that's not
And
good.
in
Now,
California, they have some very unusual laws. There are a lot of privacy laws, and they're protecting the rights of a scumbag like this, even.
yeah.
So we wish we could
No.
get more cooperation from the convention people and also the police department. I want to catch the guy. They don't want me to put a reward out there. They don't want me to talk to media. They don't want me to talk to you guys.
Well, I'm
You
glad
know,
you are, and
they think they can do a better job. Well, I
I
work a lot
really
with
hope
law
this helps.
enforcement.
I honestly do.
Yeah. Yeah, the more people that knows about it, it's gone,
Of course.
you know, all over Southern California now. It's gone nationwide. So I've gotten people from New York, Florida, um, Kentucky, Chicago, many places, even New Hampshire calling me. I saw it on the news, so it's got picked up and it has extra legs with it now, and it's running. Hasn't gone international, but it would surprise me
Sure.
because everybody likes a story, but it doesn't have a happy ending yet.
Yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I got 10,000 little ones that says that hopefully it will. So
Yeah.
Well, we hope so too. Now,
Yeah.
now
yeah,
We
let's
I would
say
like to
certainly
get it
do.
back.
let's say
You
on
bet.
the off chance this guy is Googling
Yeah,
gold nugget stolen Long Beach,
sure.
something like that, and this video pops up.
Yeah.
What would you want him to hear from you?
I would love to meet you. And of course, you know, like I mentioned earlier, he'd get the 10,000, but he'll need it for attorneys because we will prosecute you to the full extent of the law. You've done it more than once. We know. So hopefully sooner or later, one of his friends will rat him out or his girlfriends. He'll do something to piss him off. And this is their way of
Yeah.
getting even.
Yeah,
This is America, baby.
that's
Yeah.
how it works. Well, I'm hoping that
Fortunately.
this thing ends up in your mailbox like tomorrow.
Oh, I would love to do that. I've actually had that happen to us. You know,
Yeah.
over the
Really?
years, you know, you get everything. I've had anonymous letters sent back to me with money in it. You know, unfortunately, you know, the average for employee stealing is there. We've even had that happen to us. But you know what? If you make a big deal about it, and you can see that they're are going to, you know, stop what they're doing. One of the kids that I did, 6 months later, I offered him his old job.
Ah.
That's me or you guys.
Yeah.
Right on.
Well, let's
No,
help.
it's
Let's help
something that's
Bob.
coming in on the phone. But anyway, that particular employee is now the clerk for Supreme Court Justice of the United States.
How about that?
Yeah. How
All
about
right.
that?
So people
No
can
doubt.
change their lives.
Yeah, of course.
No doubt.
Yeah.
So all your information is again going to be in the description below. Phone numbers to contact you.
Sure.
For anybody out there watching and listening,
Oh
and
yeah.
you do happen to know, or if you've never heard this, but you say, "Hey, I know that guy." Call
Yeah.
Bob
Leave it
immediately.
through the tip
Talk
line.
it
Yeah.
out with him,
Yeah.
and let's
We
try and figure this thing out. There's actually, I was talking to Emil before the show. There's actually quite a few big YouTube channels in the coin community, and I hope they catch this
oh sure.
interview, and I hope that they contact you
Oh
and
yeah.
try to get you on their channel, because the more
Yeah.
talk, the more chatter, the more nervous
Yeah.
people get, and
Yeah. We actually I was on
hopefully it's not melted.
I was on America's Most Wanted about a coin dealer that got murdered, and he was a friend of
Wow.
mine. I raised 13,500, and we caught him because of that
Wow.
reward. We gave it
awesome.
in a big presentation check, you know, and the guy came into our show, was all on film, picked up by some of the local TV stations and everything. But it was because of America's Most Wanted program and the money that was raised. that we caught him.
See, every
So
little bit helps.
this guy's going to be looking over his back until he's dead. You know, he's going to suspect everybody. Like I said, millions and millions of people have actually seen videos on him already. Somebody out there knows him.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of time before he gets caught. And he'll steal
And
until he
somebody
gets
else, I
caught.
wouldn't think, want to get caught with that either.
No,
You know,
dangerous.
And I
Yeah,
just
it's
want to
like
give
kryptonite.
maybe one closing thought for anybody who maybe is watching this and thinking, so what? You know, it's not my nugget, not my problem.
yeah.
Yeah,
But it's kind of all of our problem, because if we're all in this world, in this community, especially numismatics, precious metals, when that is allowed to slide, it becomes a problem. It becomes more rampant. And I
sure.
could say, as somebody who has sold a good amount of precious metals, I've been scammed before, and that
Sure.
sucks. And it wasn't $82,000 worth.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's like a drop in the bucket compared to what you're feeling. So I do feel you though. It
Well,
does hurt. And it
there's
sucks.
a lot of good coin dealers out there, you know. The ANA, the American Numismatic Association's a good housekeeping seal of approval type of thing. Another one is the PNG, Professional Numismatist Guild.
Yep.
I'm the only one in Utah. There's a reason for that. But we're all willing to help each other. But I also believe, and I bet you guys do believe in karma. What goes around comes around. You reap what you
Sure.
sow. Sooner or later, he'll get his. Whether it's in this life or the next, he'll have to
Yeah.
answer
No, you ain't
for the
kidding there.
actions and choices he makes. But I'm hoping to get to him before anybody else. So if you want to become famous, tell us who this guy is so the police can do the job and get him arrested. Belongs in jail, where he has a lot of other friends that would love to meet him.
Sure.
Heck yeah.
Well, we're rooting for you, and we're going to do what we can as far as our own social media platforms and try and spread the word of help, help, help. And let's try and
Sure.
figure this thing out.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Hey,
Thank
Enjoy
you
anytime,
talking to
Bob.
you.
for coming on the show.
Let me know if I can be any other help.
Hey, thank you very much.
All right.
You have
See you
a good
later.
day.
You
Yeah.
too.
Bye now.
And folks,
Bye-bye.
don't forget, we got the 5-ounce giveaway. Information's in the description section
That's
below.
also in the description below. Emil, good show, buddy. This was a good thing. I'm glad we shut off the live stream, push it back a week, 2 weeks, doesn't matter. People helping people, I always say, is good stuff. Hopefully this reaches the right people and this guy can get his stuff back. What a terrible, terrible thing.
Yeah. So if you guys know anything, hit that description section, find his contact info, and reach out to him.
That's right. And if for some reason you don't feel like reaching out to him, reach out to me, reach out to Emil. We'll figure this thing out together. Emil,
Yeah.
next week, buddy.
I'll see you then.
All right.